hope y'all are doing well. Cool. Everything seems to be working fine today. So everything's good. I actually got on here. I got started prepping for this early, so I was able to come online on time, so that way I wouldn't be late for y'all. So my apologies for that last week. It was just a hot mess. So I think I'm good today. I think I'm in the right place mentally to keep up with everything today. So it's been a good day. All right, guys. Hi. How are you doing? I hope y'all are doing well. So for those of you who are just tuning in for the very first time, this is your chance to ask me your questions, and you get to ask me whatever you want to ask me about. You can ask me about your life. You can ask me about connecting with a specific person in spirit. Before we begin, of course, I am going to go over a few things that you need to be aware of. But two things. One is, if you are going to ask me a question about your life, please be specific. I don't think some people understand what that means. When I say be specific, means don't assume I know everything about you. Don't assume that I can see everything. Don't assume that I know everything. Psychics do not know or see everything. We're only able to sense details, not know everything. There's a huge difference between the two. So when we're tuning into things, we don't see a complete picture. We don't see everything that's going on. We only see bits and pieces. And from those bits and pieces, we have to figure some things out and make some assumptions, or what we call predictions. That's what that is. And so don't assume that I know everything and I can read your mind and I know exactly what you're saying, because it doesn't work that way. Now, I can sense thoughts. I can sense people's minds. That doesn't mean that I'm constantly wired in and knowing every single thing that's going on, because it isn't. My brain would blow up if that were the case, okay? So if you're going to ask me a question about your life, health and wellness, finances, career and work and relationship, be specific. Like, what about that specifically you want to know about? That way I can get through as many of you as I can. If you are asking me about a loved one in spirit, let me know who you want me to connect with, and I will try to connect with that person and see if I can get through any kind of message or information for you. It's a lot easier if I have someone to talk to, but I can still do it via text, so I'll still do my very best. It's not my favorite way of doing it, but I'll still do it, because I know a lot of you don't want to get on camera, which is perfectly understandable. For those of you who do want to get on camera, or who want to come on in a call with me, you need to do it through Instagram, because I'm not able to do it through Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. I'm only able to do that through Instagram. So if you want to get on video, you have to do it through Instagram. If you are on Facebook and YouTube, you may get hit by a troll, someone who jumps in and starts to message you. Even after the live is over with, you might still get messaged by some person pretending to, be drawn to you, or they can give you a reading or whatever. These are trolls. These are con artists. They're going to take your money. Do not respond. In fact, if someone does that, it's one thing to comment on other people's comments. That happens. I'm talking about people who want you to private message them. Do not private message them. Do not follow the link if they want you to click on the link. Just report that person as spam or as harassment, and then block them, and that way you can block them. This past week there was a troll who actually tried to duplicate my page and my name, and so they were going on and they were asking everyone to, on Facebook, they were asking everybody to accept and follow them, etc. Though that was a troll, and I put that out the day that it happened. But thank you so much for all of you who actually were messaging and who were letting us know. I got like 20 plus messages about it. I got calls, I got text messages from my business line. Roxy got a bunch of stuff. Reagan got a bunch of stuff. So we were all getting on, which is great, and I appreciate that, because it definitely helps us to nip it in the bud so that it doesn't go too far. And FYI, I've already told Reagan, my social media manager, from now on we're not going to request anyone like our page, just because I don't want to have this happen in the future and people wonder. So for people who are new followers or who are new to my page, you have to follow me or like me on there. I'm not going to request that you follow me, just because I just don't want to repeat that and make it confusing for people, and they actually see that coming from my page and then think it's a spammer. So we're no longer going to do that. So FYI with that as well. All right, so I'm not going in any particular order. I'm going to bounce around. So I'm just going with where I'm drawn or where I'm led. As you can see, I've got my headset on. This headset, for those of you who don't know what the hell's going on, this is a it's an EEG machine is pretty much what it is. It's a wireless EEG machine that is created by a company that produces it for people who do medical research and for organizations and universities, etc. So it's actually a medical grade research instrument. And what it's doing is it's monitoring my brain waves, and it's breaking it down into 4 separate sections. So we've got delta waves, we've got theta waves, we've got alpha waves, and we've got beta waves. And you can't see the screen on my end, but if you're on Facebook and on YouTube, you can see the full, let me see, got some stuff going on here. You can see the full thing as well. So it's a brainwave machine. Basically, it's going to like monitor my brainwave activity and let me know what's going on in the different regions of my brain. Delta is sleep. Theta is what is considered to be like the most creative, or musicians, artists, creatives, psychics, spiritual minds are usually very theta. Alpha is where they say that people have more of like a telepathic, people can receive telepathic communication, they can process data from a psychic perspective. It also is a very relaxed state of mind. Some meditation happens in alpha waves, and beta waves is when I have a very active mind and I'm awake and alert, and I'm at my most alert. So that's something that is activated then. It's been consistent from the last few times that I've done this live that the theta waves and the alpha waves are definitely becoming activated, especially when I'm connecting with people. And something that I've noticed is that, and for those of you on Facebook and YouTube, and you'll tell me if you notice this, right before I start to talk to someone on video, my brain seems to react right before as if it's already beginning to make the connection. So that's really interesting that I noticed that. But I'm going to be providing these online on my YouTube channel just because I want people, specifically people who are scientists, who are brain experts or brain scientists, to see it and hopefully become interested in maybe doing more research into this, because I believe that we all have this ability. We can all do what I do. I just understand the process and I practice it. That's the only difference between you and I. But the point of this is to get enough attention to get people to say, hey, there's something going on in his brain here when he's doing this, so that they can become more interested in maybe studying it, and more funding can be funneled to this, because we should all know how to use our brains in this way. It shouldn't just be, people who are more sensitive. We should all be able to use this because it's a capacity that we all possess, right? Right. Okay. So if you are enjoying the lives, if you enjoy the lives and you want to show some appreciation, give me a thumbs up or a heart if you're on Instagram. And also, if you can send this video out to your followers or to people that you think might be interested in the work that I do. If you get tired of waiting for me, because I'm not going to be able to answer everybody's questions tonight, of course, I can't connect with everybody, and I'm sorry I can't do that. I'm only one person. But if you get interested and you don't want to wait, just go to my website. I have pricing options for everybody at different price points, so everybody can afford me. If you don't want to pay, you don't have to. I'm not asking you to. I'm just making sure you understand that, because people tend to message the hell out of me after a live. How do I book an appointment? How do I book an appointment? I'm like, just go to my website. Just go to my website. There's a button, and also in Facebook and on Instagram that says book now. That's the button. So either go to my website or click that button. So you can do that. If not, you can just keep coming to the lives. They're free of charge. I'm not asking y'all for anything in return for these. If you feel the need to give back, because some of you have already reached out, I want to give you something for what you've done for me. I appreciate that so much, but it is my agreement with God that I'm going to do this for free. So this is why I do these, because that's my personal agreement with God. However, I am going to add a button on my Instagram and also on my YouTube that if someone really feels the need to give back, I'm going to add a couple of nonprofit organizations or charities for you to make a donation in my name. So that way it's being given to someone who can really, it's like a double give, right? It's a double give. So that's what I would rather do instead. So I haven't put that up yet, but I'm going to put that up for those of you who really want to give, okay? All right, so remember, I am not a licensed medical doctor, counselor, attorney, or law enforcement official. For legal medical advice or treatment, please consult a licensed professional. Remember, you can always change your future. It is never set in stone. My statements are personal opinions, not proven facts. Whatever decisions or actions you take in your life, you are 100% responsible and liable for that. So I'm not taking any responsibility for the decisions you make in your life. What else? Also, don't forget to go to my website and sign up for my newsletter, because I send out a newsletter every week with some recaps and also Dear Fernies. I've already begun doing the podcast again, so that'll also get tied in there as well whenever it gets completed. What else? I think that's it. I want to make sure I got everything done, and then I have to adjust this again because I'm seeing some spots here, because the way that the headset works is it is really sensitive to touch, and so if I touch it, it's going to trigger the sensor to turn on or to get bright. So I try not to touch it unless I have to, and when I'm adjusting it, I have to touch it, because I can tell on my end if something's not making proper contact, and I want to make sure everything is making proper contact. Okay, let's see, going over here, article, social media script. I think that's all I need to tell y'all. I think that, yeah, that's it. That's it. So that's all I need to do. So let me adjust this really quickly and then we'll get started, okay? So that way y'all don't lose time here because I need to make up some time since this is taking a little longer than expected. Up here. Okay. So, and FYI guys, I'm so sick of the like liquid saline. So I ordered saline gel because it has to use saline to make contact with my skull, with my skin. And so I ordered a gel so that way I don't have to worry about the liquid because it just doesn't seem to be cutting it. I don't know if it's going to mess up my sensors. If it messes up my sensors, y'all will know the next time I'm on here because I ain't going to be able to wear this. But yeah, let's see. So let's, so give me a second guys, okay? I'm not ignoring y'all. I just need to make sure, oh shit. I just need to make sure that there's enough liquid to make contact with the sensors. There we go. Okay. And if my skull is really dry, that also affects things as well. So that's why I have to keep applying stuff. It makes me like a mess. Like it's just very messy. I don't know. I guess they had decided that using the gel was a lot more messier. But I personally would prefer a gel just because I don't think they're making this model anymore. So that may be something that they worked on and they said, you know what, we're not going to do that anymore. So give me 1 second. Okay. And I am a hot mess anyway, so making sure. Okay, got that one. Got that one. Got that one. And so I'm almost done. And I tried saturating these just to make sure that they would make proper contact. Okay. Let's see. Alright, so this one needs to be. There it is. That's the one I'm trying to get to. Okay, got green, got green, got green. And then this one, I don't know what's going on with this one. Ah, there it goes. Okay. All right, so I'm making proper contact, y'all. So I think I'm good. So yeah, I might have to stop and adjust it halfway through, so please be patient for those of you who are watching as well. Okay. And making sure that, because sometimes my brain waves get a little too, this thing is really sensitive, so I have to be careful with the sensitivity because it really definitely triggers quite easily, and I want to make sure that I'm not, okay, I think that's good. Okay, perfect. All right, we're good. All right, so I'm not going in any particular order, guys. So I'm going to start with YouTube and Facebook over here, and then I'm going to jump over here, okay? So let's start with this. Okay, so going through there. Hey, Intuitive Dreams. Hey, Sharita. Hello. Hello, Amalia. Michelle Lee Briggs, do I have any messages from my mom? If so, does she know about my new baby? Is she still around me? If so, how will I know? Yes, so she does know about the new baby. So first of all, she's doing this. So I don't know if the second of a month is significant for her, meaning that February or the second of a month is significant. I kind of feel like she might be acknowledging that there's another baby coming in or there's another baby, because she's almost, when I saw that and you said two, I mean, when you said baby, she was like showing me two. So I'm not sure if this is your second or if this is a second attempt, your second baby, or if there's a connection to that too reference, but she's acknowledging that. She also thinks she is pointing to this, and she's also acknowledging a good luck charm. I don't know if you have a good luck charm. When I think of this, so what I was seeing, which made me think of this, is I was thinking of like a 4-leaf clover. So I don't know if there's an Irish association with a necklace, or there's something about wearing something that's a good luck charm around your neck, or she's just acknowledging a necklace that you wear connected to her that's good luck for you, but she's acknowledging that as well. She also keeps, thank you, she also keeps acknowledging, I feel like I want to plant flowers, and it's in an odd place. What I mean by that is normally when people plant flowers or plant plants, they plant it in a place that's already been prepared, or it's kind of like a garden, etc. But she's acknowledging like putting something in an odd spot or an odd place that might be something significant. So I don't know if there's a memory of you two planting something in an odd spot, or you just did something and put it in an odd spot. But there's a reference there as well, because she's acknowledging also. She's also shown me Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. So there might be a reference to Tigger, and either like a piece of fabric, a blanket, or something that's got like a tiger pattern that's connected to mom. It's a piece of fabric. She's acknowledging that as well. She's with you, sweetheart. She has actually been flickering lights, or triggering lights to flicker on and off. They almost remind me, you know, when you think of like Christmas lights and you think of like them flashing or doing the spark, that's what she's doing. She's doing that. So no, watch out for that, because she's acknowledging that she's done that to get your attention. Okay. Mama Mira, or Myra. Hi, Ferny. I've been curious to see if my daughter Kira and I have any past life connections, or is there anything you can tell me about a past life of mine? Yeah, so with your daughter, first of all, you've flipped roles. So I actually think that you've been the child and your daughter's been the parent. So I feel like I've actually flipped roles, except in that lifetime, because that's one lifetime. In that lifetime, she was your father, you were the son. So you've actually been both males in another lifetime, but she was the father and you were the son. So sometimes she may want to boss you around and tell you what to do. That may be where it's coming from. I also keep feeling, thank you. Actually, that might have been near or around the ocean, because I keep seeing an ocean. I actually keep seeing you both on a boat, and it's almost like y'all are fishing, or fishermen. So y'all may have actually served like on a vessel, or done this like fishing thing that was part of the work that you used to do in that lifetime. So I feel like that would be, I almost feel like you may have actually been of Asian descent, because I'm seeing features that remind me, it may even be Polynesian or Indonesian, no, Polynesian. I want to say it's Polynesian, because I'm seeing some features that remind me of like the Polynesian islands. So this might have been around that time frame. When would this have been? Like I want to say this was probably like 120 years ago. So this was a while. So I would say this is probably the late 1800s. Okay. Intuitive Dreams V. The guy I'm dating calls and texts me every day, and our bond is growing. How do you see our relationship progressing? What I would say is, I would say take it slow, allow it to evolve. I think it's still in like its infancy. I'm not going to say that there's no opportunities here, because I think that there's definitely potential, but I feel like the speed is going to make a difference. In other words, if you try to rush things, or things try to be rushed, I feel like that's going to destabilize things. So you may want to be careful or be cautious of that, because I do feel that there's a tendency of destabilizing things just based off of the speed of the relationship. I also think that in about 2 or 3 weeks, even though right now y'all are texting every day, etc., there might be something that changes in 2 or 3 weeks. So keep an eye out for that, because I feel like that's going to be an indicator of what you can expect from this person. Because right now they may be showing you one side of themselves, but in about 2 or 3 weeks there may be a different part of them that they are going to be. Hold on a second. Let me adjust this here so that way you can, because I want to make sure I'm showing everything that's going on in my brain. That's good. Yeah, so I feel like you want to be careful with the next 2 or 3 weeks, because something may change in their pattern, or you may start to notice some things that don't seem to be sticking with what they've been doing, and you may need to call them out on it. So just be careful with that, okay? Elizabeth Castro, my brother Ron keeps showing up in my thoughts and dreams. Does he have anything to say to me, or is his son? He died of a heartache at 54 years. 4 years ago. He died of a heart attack. I think you're trying to say he died of a heart attack, but you're kind of giving away too many details. You're giving me too much different details. Guys, y'all can just give me like a name. Y'all don't have to give me like all their stuff, because I want them to tell me. You can validate it or you can confirm it, but just try to stick to like the first name or their connection to you, and then I'll start from there and I'll work my way through it. because I don't want too much information, because I want them to be able to share some things with me. First of all, Elizabeth, he showed me the number, thank you, he showed me the number 12. So either the 12th of a month or December is going to be significant because he's referencing that. The 24th is also connected as well. So either the 24th of a month is connected or February the 4th may also be connected as well. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. There might, I don't know if there's, he's showing me a whistle, so it's almost like I want to whistle. I don't know if he was just big on whistling or he actually had like a whistle or was like a referee or did coaching, but he's whistling for me. He's making reference to that. He also keeps, thank you, he also keeps acknowledging, I've seen bananas. I'm like, why am I seeing bananas? I don't know why I'm seeing bananas. I don't know if y'all recently were joking around about a joke that has to do with a banana. Or there's something about a slippery banana or banana bread. I don't know where he's going with this, but it feels recent. So there might be something there that he's making reference to that has to do with a banana, because I'm seeing a banana for some reason. So he's acknowledging that. He also keeps referencing, thank you. There might be a, okay. You know, sometimes people, like if you ever, I've seen the ads on Netflix and on Netflix, on social media, where it's almost like a person's face and it's 3D. I don't know if y'all have a 3D picture of him, or it almost feels like, oh, like the eyes are following you. So there's something about that he's making reference to or that he's acknowledging. That might be like a 3D picture of him or 3-dimensional thing, because he's showing me something like that. It almost reminds me of like those little crystal things where you can like move around and you can see the person's face moving. That's what he's showing me. So there's a reference there, because he's acknowledging that as well. He's also doing this. So there might be a ring that's connected to him that he's acknowledging. He's almost like passing on the ring. So he's making reference to the ring being gifted and being meaningful as well. He's also talking about 3 wishes. Don't know what that means. Ring. He brought it up right after the ring. So I don't know if the ring means 3 wishes or there's something about 3 wishes in a ring. But there's a reference there because he's acknowledging that as well. Okay. Let's go over here. Naznusi, should I get a hysterectomy? Would that solve my issues? I can't tell you what to do. So when people start off the conversation, should I don't know. Should you? Because it's your decision to make. You have to live with the consequences of those actions. So I'm not going to tell you what to do. However, I'll tell you what I see you doing. I feel that you will end up getting a hysterectomy, but you might delay or you might wait a little while before you do it, just because you might consider other options, and you might even talk to another doctor before you decide to go through with the hysterectomy. But I do think you'll end up going through with the hysterectomy. Okay. I'm seeing part of a message here from Natalie Barriot. Anyone? You also said I'd get a pacemaker when I'm older. Is there a way I can avoid it? What will cause me to get a pacemaker? Yeah, so this is why I tell people that you can always change the future. Nothing is ever set in stone. Because what I'm doing is I'm basically picking up on bits and pieces, and like a weatherman, I'm making a prediction of what's to come. We all know weathermen are not 100%, just like psychics. No psychic is 100%. As great as a track record as I have, I'm still wrong sometimes, y'all. So just FYI, I could be wrong. But I always tell people that they can change the future, because you can definitely change the future. Most people don't, but you can. I would recommend that you actually follow up with, if you start to feel palpitations or feel something weird with your heart, follow it up with a doctor, because I think that might make the biggest difference in the world for you, and that may actually help you to get ahead of this. The reason why I think you'll end up getting a pacemaker is because I feel like part of your heart is not sticking with the beat of the rest of the heart. I don't know enough about heart science to be able to go into too much detail, but it's almost as if when I look at the heart, half of it feels a little less elastic, or just feels like it's a little bit firmer, which I don't know why that would be the case. Like if there would be some sort of buildup or some sort of collection of cells that would harden part of the heart, and so that may create a little bit of a rhythm differential or change the rhythm of your heart. Again, I'm not a doctor, so you need to follow it up with the doctor if you start to encounter or experience things with your heart. My thinking, though, is that with a pacemaker, what would happen is essentially, which now people think of pacemaker like, oh my God, they're going to crack open my chest and then they're going to throw in this machine. No, it's like a little sensor thing. And what it does is it basically regulates the rhythm of the heart so that there isn't any weirdness. And then you start, because if you start having like dizzy spells, etc., that can all come from like a heart that's got some weird murmurs to it. I think that it's just a murmur, it's just a rhythm change that needs to be followed up with the doctor. So again, next time you go in for physical, just check your heart and have them check your heart to do a full thorough. If that's not correct, then don't worry about it. But I want you to still ask about it, because if it's something you can get ahead of, then get ahead of it, and you can possibly change it or do something different that may change the trajectory of that, okay? Jenna Bolognese. Hey, Ferny, was wondering if you see some good things coming to me in terms of a relationship. So I think you're asking me, do I see a relationship for you? I actually do. In the next 6 months, you might find yourself having 2 separate relationship options that you might have to decide what you want to do. One of them feels like it's a friend. So I actually think that you might find yourself having something or experiencing something with a friend, which I feel might create a little bit. You might have something happen with a friend, and it might create the tendency for y'all to get closer. So that's one. There's another person you may start to talk to that I think you might really, really have a thing for. They may not be available when you meet them or when you start to connect with them, but if you're patient, they may also open up to a potential. It's almost like a crush. Without that person knowing that you have a crush, that's a different thing. So there's almost like 2 separate scenarios that I think are going to come up for you. That person, the one that's got the crush, I would say is less likely to happen, just because I feel like they may not be available. When they are available, they may still not be over that person, and you may feel like they're just not going to give you the attention that you're wanting. The other person that's like the friend, I actually think there might be a beneficial or a potential long-term connection from that, but you would have to get clear with that person on what you want. So you just got to be careful, because there's 2 options in the next 6 months, okay? Read Kira. I know you say we come back after we pass. I've been feeling whenever that time comes, I don't want to come back. Do people have that option to stay? Here's the thing. When we're thinking of life right now, we're thinking of it and we're seeing it from a human perspective. When we are no longer in our physical bodies, we're not going to feel the same way. We're going to feel very differently. Think of it this way. Have you ever been to a party, or have you ever had a few drinks and you feel real good? And you're like telling people like, oh my God, we got to get together again. Let's do this again. Let's do this again. And so everybody plans to get together again. And then that time comes and everybody's like, oh, I don't really feel like doing it. Oh, why did I say I was going to do that? I don't really want to do that. That's how we feel. That's how we feel in this world. So when we're on the other side, we're all like, yeah, it's great, girl. We're like high on love. So when we get here, that kind of goes out the window, because we have to deal with the human condition of suffering. And so we don't realize why we make these decisions, or why we chose to have some of the experiences that we have. Same thing. So you'll feel differently when you get up there, but everything is you don't get to decide. You as Kira, you don't get to decide. Your soul gets to decide, and your soul is a grander, bigger version of yourself, and it knows more than you do in this moment. So I know that's how you feel, but the soul is ultimately going to call the shots. Okay. Sally, that girl. Hi, Ferny. Yesterday marked 3 months since my daughter has passed, and I was wondering if she had any messages for me. Also, if you can tell me what her favorite flower is, please. Yeah. So I'm asking her about the flower. All I'm seeing is yellow, but I keep thinking of a sunflower. So I don't know if that's her favorite flower. If it isn't, then I'm seeing yellow. I'm seeing a sunflower. So she might just be acknowledging that as well. Now, if that's not her favorite flower, and you just had something happen with the sunflower, just FYI, she might be alerting to something else, but just be aware of that. She is acknowledging the number 17. So I feel like she's trying to make reference to the number 17 as being significant. So either the 17th of a month is connected, or January 7th is connected. She also keeps thank you. She also keeps acknowledging, you know how sometimes people will take like lipstick and they'll write it on the mirror? I don't know if you have something written on a mirror, or there's something that's like marked on, that's red, that's like marked on a picture or marked on something, but she's showing me that. So there's a reference there. She's pointing to herself. So in my opinion, just by pointing to herself, that's usually indicative that someone's taking responsibility for their own passing, or they're acknowledging that they may have had a hand in their own passing. So she might have brought about her own passing, or just taking some responsibility for it, because she's making reference to that. She also keeps, thank you, she's putting her hand over her mouth, which means I may not have been able to communicate back or say anything back, but I heard you, I heard you, I heard you. So if you got a chance to say goodbye to her or to honor her, even though she may have not been conscious as she was gone, she's acknowledging that she still heard you. So she's making reference to that as well. She also talked about the picture of her in the tree or y'all in the tree. So I don't know if y'all got up into a tree and took a picture in a tree, but she's showing me like a branch and then I'm seeing a tree. So there's a reference to a picture that may be connected to that. Okay. Okay, let's go to here. Hey Peggy, hi Ferny, does my Uncle Charlie have a message for me? Yeah, so he's showing me money. I don't know if you have special coins or there's something going on with money in the family, but he's showing me coins. So either there's a connection to special coins, to the situation with money, or to the thing happening with the family, but he's referencing that. He also keeps, thank you, he also keeps acknowledging, I don't know if you have a dog, but he almost makes me feel like he messes with the dog or he tries to get the dog's attention. So there might be a dog that reacts from time to time. Thank you. What he's showing me is, I'm almost reminded of a friend of mine where she took a picture once of her dog and her dog was just like staring at a corner on the wall and just barking at it like something was there, even though there was nothing there. And so I'm reminded of that. So there might be a situation where a dog has reacted or barked like to the wall or to the corner that he's tried to get some attention because he's making reference to that as well. He's also doing this. So there's a reference here. I don't know if he had a pain that went down his arm to his hand, or there was some difficulties with motor skills with his hand because he's showing me this, but it almost is like he's doing this almost like trying to build the strength up or trying to like, it's funny because I almost want to make a muscle actually. So I don't know if he has a picture of him making a muscle or there was an attempt to try to build up his strength because he's almost making a reference to this in the arm. He also, thank you, he also keeps, I keep seeing Luke Skywalker and I keep thinking of Star Wars. Don't know if he was a big Star Wars fan or if the name Luke is significant, but there's a reference to that as well because he's making an acknowledgement. He's also talking about changing a name on a form or changing the name on a title, and he's doing this. So if there's something going on that y'all are dealing with right now, he's like doing this, which means he's okay with it or he's on board with it. So just FYI with that, okay? Amber Dawn, hi Ferny, I desperately want to hear from my brother. Yeah, so the first thing he's acknowledging is he's showing me a picture of himself really smiling, and he almost wants me to see his teeth and how perfect they are. So I don't know if he was really prideful of his smile or if he had difficulties with his teeth and he's trying to make it clear that he no longer suffers from this. But there's a reference to that. He also keeps, thank you, I want to say H-E, it's almost like I want to say Hela or Hela or Hyla. It's almost like something like that he's making reference to. So I don't know if that term means anything or there's something that has that term that's significant because he's showing me that. He is doing this. So there might be 4 necklaces or pieces of jewelry that might be significant because he's also showing me that as well. He also he's writing on my skin. So I don't know if you have something on this part of the body or there's something about the hand that he would have been associated with because he's like doing this. So there's a reference there because he's making an acknowledgement that as well. He also keeps, thank you. He's also talking about four babies or the 4. I don't know if you have 4 babies in spirit that have passed and he's trying to acknowledge those 4 or he knows of 4, but he's referencing 4. So there's a reference there as well. Okay. Let's go over here. Juan Alanis Jr., Armando Martinez, my grandfather. Yeah, so with your grandpa, first of all, he keeps he wants to chew in his mouth. So I don't know if he had a habit of chewing gum or he always had like a piece of candy in his mouth because he almost feels like he's got something like in his mouth that he's trying to make reference to. He also, he keeps trying to take a deep breath and it's almost like he can't take a full deep breath. So something might have been affecting his respiratory system or his ability to breathe fully because it feels like he was having difficulty being able to expand his lungs out. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you, he keeps closing his eyes, but I still feel like I can hear. So he might have lost consciousness or he might have not been completely like alert. And he's making reference that he may have still heard or he was still aware of what was going on, but he's closing his eyes almost like he's trying to make reference to that. He's putting his hand over his mouth as well, which means I didn't get a chance to say goodbye or I wasn't able to communicate with you before my passing, but he's doing that. So this might have happened. This might have happened at the timing. The timing might have been unexpectedly, or you may not have been there present in the moment that he passed, because he's almost acknowledging that or making reference to that. He also he's shown me a J name, almost like Julian? No. No. Julio. It's like a Julio sounding name that he's trying to acknowledge. It could be J-O, and I'm totally misinterpreting it, but I almost want to say he's trying to acknowledge it. Julian. Almost it sounds like Julian, but it's like Julia. But there's a reference to that name as well, because he's acknowledging that. He also keeps, thank you. He's drawing on your back. So I don't know if you're planning on getting a tattoo on your back, or there's a mark on your back that may be significant, because he's almost drawing on your back. He's very prideful of the family, even though, you know, no family's perfect, right? But it's almost like he's really prideful of the family, and he's almost like family should stick together. Family should stick together. So there might be some things going on in the family that are causing a little bit of a rift, and he may be trying to bring attention to this and saying family needs to stick together, or family needs to, you know, pull together. He's showing me a white vehicle. I don't know if you have a white vehicle and he's acknowledging your vehicle, or if he had a white vehicle, but he's showing me something like that, because there's a reference to this white vehicle as well. Okay. Tansy and Ferny, hoping to hear anything from my grandmother. Thank you. Yeah, so she is acknowledging. Thank you. She's making a symbol for a cross. So I don't know. Normally, when I see the symbol for a cross, it usually means like a blessing, like a religious blessing or a Christian blessing. Excuse me. Or it may represent like the idea of like blessing you, or a cross being significant, because she's doing that or making the reference for that. She also keeps acknowledging a book. There might be a book of things that have been written down, like a notebook or something that's got writing on it that might connect to her, because she's showing me something writing in a book, and I feel like I'm doing this, so there's a reference there. So she's acknowledging that. She also keeps acknowledging thank you. She is coughing, and I almost feel like she's got like, it's almost like the feeling of like something stuck in your throat and trying to get it out, and it feels like it won't come out. There's almost a reference to this. She also keeps pointing to her blood, as if her blood was contaminated or was affected somehow and was making her worse, or was not okay. Something was affecting her that was triggered from her blood, because that's the way she's making me feel. She also keeps referencing the number 11, so 11th would be the 11th of a month, or November as being significant. She also keeps, thank you. Is there, I don't know if there's an R female name that she's trying to make reference to. I don't know if it's like Becky or Rebecca or Rosie or Rose. I don't know. It's got like a female art sounding name, because she's referencing that name as being significant. So there's something about that as well. She also keeps acknowledging thank you. If y'all have like her curtains or like her shade, I don't know. Are you talking about curtains or shades? There's something about curtains or shades that she's trying to tell me about. It's weird, because I feel like I want to hang stuff on my window, but then she's showing me curtains or blinds. I don't know if y'all have her curtains or blinds, or there's something that just recently happened that had to do with the curtains or blinds that she's taking notice of, but there's a reference to that as well. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to get on video, but before we do that, because I got a couple of sensors again that are acting up. So let me, before I do this, so that way this is going to be accurate. All right, I'm a leaking mess, but I think I got them all before. All right, so now going over to videos before I drip. Okay, so let me actually let's close that. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna bring people on now, because I'm gonna bring a couple of y'all on. Okay. All right. So let's see who's on here. See, why is it? See, it's like my brain is already reacting, and I haven't even started talking to anybody. It just like got like really red. So I was like, what's going on there? Okay, so let's see who's on here. Um, let's do.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, sweetheart. How you doing?
I'm okay.
All right. What do you want to ask me about?
I just kind of needed some guidance from my mom. I don't know. I just really wanted to hear from her more or
Sure.
less.
Yeah, let me connect with mom. So first of all, she keeps thank you. She keeps showing me the number five. Do you know if the fifth of a month or May is connected?
Mhm.
Okay. She also keeps acknowledging the three of y'all. Are there three of you kids?
Yes.
Okay. She also keeps acknowledging about the baby that's in spirit. Did you lose a child? Was the baby miscarried, lost, or terminated?
Yes, my son.
Got it. She also keeps acknowledging the picture with the flowers around her head or with the pictures with the flowers around the edges. Do you know about that?
Yes.
Okay. She also, did you light two candles for her and then one of them wouldn't work, so you just replaced it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
recently did that.
Perfect. She's aware of that as well, so she's acknowledging that. She also keeps acknowledging thank you. Do you have a little dog?
Yeah.
Okay. Does it tend to run around in a circle like a maniac and then it
Mhm.
stops and then it's almost like looking up at something?
Yeah.
Okay, that's her. So she's getting the attention of the dog and trying to let you know that she's around you whenever the dog does that. She also keeps acknowledging thank you. She also keeps acknowledging um, do you go back and forth with the father of your children?
No, not really. I mean, I've been living in Houston for 3 years. She's probably talking about my current relationship. We're just kind of like,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
we're together, but we
Okay.
have our
Because she's
own.
acknowledging you going back and forth with the relationship. So she's referencing that. The way she makes me feel is almost like if you can take it for what it is, if this works for you, then accept it and don't ask for more. If you want more, déjalo, déjalo. And that's how she's putting it. So she's almost acknowledging like don't expect too much more. This is what it is. If you can accept that, go. That's fine. If you can't accept that, stop crying because I'm hearing about it all day, every day. And she's almost acknowledging like her hearing about you. So she's just referencing that. She also says that you are a good mom and don't feel so guilty. She says sometimes you just got to go with the flow. And it doesn't mean that you can always provide your children with the most stable environment. Sometimes you have to make changes. So she's acknowledging that as well. She also says, thank you. Did you go? Was mom buried? Was mama buried?
She was cremated.
Okay. Did you plant something in the ground for her or put something in dirt for her?
No, I was planning on planting sunflowers for her because that's her favorite flowers.
Okay. She's probably wanting to acknowledge this thing of planting. When you do so, were the remains split three ways? Four, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, four. Were they? Are y'all going to split it again for
Four.
four? Okay.
We no, we had already split them. So it's between my stepdad and my siblings.
Perfect. Then that's four of y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Got it. So she's acknowledging being aware of that. If when you plant the flowers, if you want to sprinkle some of her remains in the garden, she says it might give it good luck because she says she's off and she's like, you're not going to water it. So she's almost like making fun that you're not going to take care of it. She's like, maybe I can do something. So she's just acknowledging that. Um, were you hearing like music or singing when you were falling asleep one day or from like a different room?
I had went to my son's room one night because he was having a hard time. He was missing her, and randomly a song came on, and it just made me cry so much because I was like, I swear that's my mom playing that.
Got it. She's just validating that. She's just confirming that for you. So she's letting you know that she knows what, they can hear our thoughts. They know what we're thinking. So whenever you think of her, she knows that immediately. She knows that you're thinking of her and she's immediately going to try to find a way to let you know she's around you. You tend to stress yourself out and worry yourself out too much. She's like, you don't need me. You don't need me. And I know you keep saying like, I need my mom. I need my mom. She's like, you don't need me. No, don't worry. You're fine. So she's almost acknowledging that you worry too much and that you're going to be fine and that you don't need her because you have her. It may not be the same as having her in life, but she still is around and you can still talk to her. And if it's something that doesn't break the rules, she'll find a way to help you. Okay?
Do
Just
you know if you can, like, I really need guidance on like if she could tell me what to do, like with the situation with my stepdad, like.
The way she's putting it is if you keep getting in, if you keep, the way she puts it is, if you keep stepping in fire, stop complaining because it's going to burn every single time. So the best way to deal with it is to stay away from the fire or to not let yourself continue to be burned. There's only so much you can do there. If y'all want to help him or be there for him, he's not going to really let y'all in or do what y'all need him to do. So don't expect too much from him because he's very stubborn. He also doesn't really care sometimes about what he says, and it can come across kind of mean. So don't be. She's doing this. She's pointing to his head. So sometimes he might not always be 100% in his head and act out or say things that he doesn't realize that it's hurting y'all as much as it is.
Okay. One more question, and then I promise I'll let you go. Do you see any babies for me anytime soon?
I see 4 total. How many do you have right now?
I got 2 alive, 1 that passed.
Okay. There's going to be 2 more. So I'm still seeing 2 more coming in that are going to be alive. So I expect that you're going to have 2 more children, but you might have to wait. I'm seeing the number 7, so I want to say 7 months, but I want to say next year in the 7th month, which would be like July. So I'm thinking maybe next July 2022, not this, because 7 months from now is like what, September? So September this year, or July next year is what I'm thinking with the next baby.
Okay.
Okay. All right, sweetheart. You take care of yourself.
Thank you, Ferny.
You're welcome. All right, so let's see. We've got a little bit of a thing here. Okay, perfect. And going to the next person live. Hello.
Hi. I'm still crying from hers.
Oh, it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. This is a safe zone. You can be as emotional as you want to. What do you want to ask me about, Mama?
I wanted to know if there was any messages from my tia or my son's father.
Yeah. So first of all, there's 3 females. Is your mom's mom also past your grandma?
No, she's still alive.
Okay. There's a female on your mom's side. There's a female on your mom's side that is above her that's a mother figure. So it's either an aunt. Is that the Thea that you're asking about? That's your mom's sister?
Yes.
Okay. So there's another female above her who is also there as well. So this would either be your grandmother's sister or because she's okay. There's also another female as well, but this is a young female that may have passed suddenly or unexpectedly that you may have known in school. Do you remember a girl who passed in school, who passed from an automobile accident?
Not that I can recall right now.
She showed me cheerleading and pom-poms, so she either would have been a dancer or a cheerleader, or she would have been part of that crowd. But she would have had kind of like it would have been a bit of a gruesome passing because she makes me feel like there was a lot of damage to her face and they couldn't even have a casket open because it was so bad because she's acknowledging something like that. I almost feel, thank you, she showed me Christy or Crystal. So there might be a Chris or Crystal name connected to her or connected to that crowd because she's showing me that. So there's a female there. So when you figure that out, to know that that person's also.
I wanted to acknowledge. I'm not really sure about the classmate.
That's okay. So just FYI, so I'll leave that with you because you may need to look into that, okay? So your tia, your mom's. First of all, she's laughing because she says y'all crack her up. She says she's always stopping by and she just watches y'all and y'all crack her up. Was one of y'all just making a joke about like the smell of a belly button or like the belly button smell? She's making a joke about someone joking about this not that long ago.
I joke about it with my kids. Like I like tell them that their belly button stinks.
Okay, because she's like making a joke about y'all talking or seeing y'all talking about the belly button smell. So there's a reference there because she's acknowledging that. And thank you, she's laughing. She's okay. Thank you. She also she showed me Jelly Bean or Jelly. Is there a nickname Jelly or Jelly Bean or Jelly? Because she's showing me like a nickname Jelly. Jilly or Jelly or Jolly Jolie. It's almost like a name and a nickname. It's a short nickname that's referencing.
Jolene.
Oh, it could be it. It could be Yoli or Yoli if they call her Yoli. Who is that?
Jolene is the that song by Dolly Parton. We would always sing it, but
Oh,
yeah, not of a nickname.
would you sing that with her?
Yeah, we would sing it at like our family reunions all the
Oh,
time.
got it. Perfect. She might just be got it because I was like Jelly Jolie. Okay, I get it now. So she's referencing that. She's repeating it. Does someone also name their bear or name something after that song? There's a reference there. Yeah, because she's. It's almost like I feel like I want to name something Jolene as well because she's referencing. She said yes to that, but then she says there's something else about naming something or naming someone after this as well. Either that or the person's name is Dolly. But there's a reference to this as well because she's showing me that. She also, thank you. She also keeps acknowledging. Do you know there's a necklace that has like a heart shape or like half of a heart shape?
Yeah.
Got it. She's acknowledging that as well, so she knows about this. She also keeps referencing thank you. Do you have a bracelet that is also in her memory?
She gave us all jewelry. Well, after she passed in Hurricane Harvey. We distributed all of her jewelry. I have some necklaces and some bracelets and earrings.
Got it. So she's just acknowledging the bracelet as well. Do you know if there's a bird on the bracelet or there's something about feathers on the bracelet?
I don't know. I'd have to look.
It's okay. Just remember that I said that because it almost looks like I'm seeing feathers. It could be leaves, but I'm thinking it's feathers. So there's a reference there. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you. Is there a picture of y'all and y'all were, I don't know if y'all were like out camping or y'all were around like a bonfire and y'all, some of y'all have hoodies and y'all are all like cold and y'all are like around it? Do you remember that picture?
Family reunions, yeah, we would have them at a farm, and yeah, definitely.
Perfect. So she's acknowledging that. Did y'all also like to make s'mores? Perfect. That's like some of her favorite memories because she's acknowledging that as well. Did one of you like to buy a different type of chocolate besides Hershey's? That we always buy like the Reese's Pieces or something and put it in instead of like the regular Hershey's because he's making a joke about the person that had to have it different.
I'm not sure. I don't
It's,
remember.
okay, so you know like we have Hershey's, but then we also have like the
The
little
I would always put the cream, the cookies and cream. I didn't like the chocolate.
perfect. She's just acknowledging you having to have yours differently and her knowing how special you are. So she's acknowledging that. She also says, thank you. Did you see a shooting star and think of her?
Yeah, I always think of my past family members when I see shooting stars. I think that's them just saying hi.
Perfect. She's agreeing with you and she says that is from her. That is from her. So she's acknowledging that as well. She's drawing. Thank you. Are you a creative or do you like to sketch or draw?
No.
Okay, she's showing me something that I feel like I'm sketching it or drawing it, but it almost reminds me whenever someone's drawing like an outfit out or like a dress. There's something about this that she's making reference to. Do you know? You know what? Let me backtrack on that for a second. Did someone try to make a cartoon version of someone's picture?
We have that as our family too. Like we all have pictures of us as cartoons, like our heads blown up, and like
Perfect. Is there a picture of her like this as well?
sure there is our whole
Okay.
family.
Got it. She's just referring. She's acknowledging that. I'm making reference to that. She says that heaven's like that. It's like a big fat cartoon. It's almost like craziness. So that's how she describes it. So she says it's like a big fat cartoon. It's just a lot of fun. She also thank you. Um, did y'all all go to Disney World together?
No.
Okay. She's showing me Disney and Mickey Mouse, and I'm trying to figure out where she's going with this. So either there's an image of her wearing like Mickey Mouse, or there's something about a Disney ride and taking a picture on the Disney ride or at Disney because she's showing me something like that. So there's a reference to it. So she's acknowledging that. She's laughing. She says she did go to Disneyland. It may not be like the Florida Disneyland, Disney World. It may be like Disneyland, like California. But she's showing me something about Disneyland because he's making reference. I've seen the Carnival Cruises now, so I'm definitely thinking that she's talking about Disney. So there's a reference there because she's acknowledging that. She also, thank you, Jiminy Cricket. What'd you say, Jiminy Cricket? So she's like, again, sticking with Disney. So there's something about this reference. You might need to ask your mom because she may know what she's talking about because I feel like I want to call somebody Jiminy Crickets. So there's something there that she's making a reference to. She's okay. She loves you. She also, thank you. She also says, did y'all sing together and think of her when y'all were singing?
When she passed away, our whole family gave balloons and sang.
Interesting. So if y'all all sang together, she's just acknowledging that she was present when y'all all sang. So she's referencing that she was aware of that, and she says thank you. So she's acknowledging that. She's also talking about a donation. Did y'all donate in her honor, or were there donations in her honor?
I'm not sure. I'd have to ask.
Okay. She's showing me almost like a blue ribbon, and I almost feel like this has to do with like a cause or donation. So there's something there that she's trying to make reference to. Okay, she's with you, sweetheart.
Is there any message from my son's dad? It's been 6 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's showing me the number 11. Do you know if November or the 11th of a month is connected? He's repeating it. So 1111. So he's showing me 11 and 11 twice. So he's repeating the number. So there's something about repeating 1111. So I'll leave that with you. Thank you. Do you know what time he passed? The exact time?
No, but I could look it up.
That's okay. I'll leave that with you. If you look it up, look it up. But he's acknowledging this like double number, or he's repeating 11. So there's something there. He also, it's going to sound weird. Is there a picture of him eating fried chicken or a piece of chicken?
That I know of.
Do you know when you go to like the festivals and you have the big old turkey legs? And I'm seeing like a turkey thing. So it almost reminds me of that. So
I think like that. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, because he's showing me something like this, so there's a reference there. He's also drawing on my skin. Are there 2 tattoos connected to him?
He has a ton of tattoos, but I get tattoos in resemblance for him.
Okay, got it. Because he's acknowledging tattoos for him. So even though he may have had a lot of tattoos, there might be 2 tattoos that are going to be connected to him. So if you're planning on getting one, that may be one. There might be another one that's connected to him as well, because he's acknowledging that. He's pointing to himself. Do you know if he wasn't 100% himself when he passed, or if he was under the influence? Because I kind of feel like I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing, and I'm being like, almost like I'm being stupid. I'm being dumb. I'm being dumb. That's the way he's calling it. So he's just acknowledging that. He also keeps acknowledging that he was trying to prove himself to people. He was trying to be like it's almost like whenever someone's racing and they're stepping on the engine and they're trying to speed. That's like the way he makes me feel. It's almost like I'm trying to prove something to people. So that's the way he's acknowledging that. He is blaming himself for his passing. He also says it was bad timing. Do you know if he passed around a birthday or a significant date?
Passed away when our son was 6 months old.
Okay, so he's acknowledging that. But do you know if it happened around a birthday or a significant date?
It happened like right around his mom's birthday.
Okay, because he's acknowledging it happening in bad timing, so he's making reference to that. He also keeps thank you. He's sorry. Did y'all talk about getting married and then y'all split?
When we were together, we talked about like having kids and like, we were like, oh well, if it happens, like we'll be happy about it. And then like out of nowhere, we just broke up and we never talked again. And
Okay.
then he was gone.
Yeah, he's acknowledging how it ended. He's apologizing to you because he says he wasn't man enough to talk to you about it and to like really tell you what was going on, because he makes me feel like there were other things that were connected to that as well, and that you deserved an explanation, or you deserved to know why he did that. So he's just apologizing for that.
I have a candle lit for him right now.
Oh, cool. Okay. He's laughing. He broke. Did you already have one that broke in half?
Yeah, a lot of my candles. I just went to get a candle for him right now because I asked him to come to me, and a lot of my candles are broken. That was the only one that wasn't broken.
Perfect. He's like acknowledging that he knows that the candles were broken and that you had to find one that wasn't broken. So he's just affirming that. I don't know why he's bringing up elephants. I don't know if he had big ears or there's something about elephants, but he's like calling like Dumbo, thinking about Dumbo. So that's what he's showing me. So
that's what he has, big ears like him.
Perfect. He's just making fun of himself, so he's just acknowledging that. You're going to see him from time to time. He says that sometimes he likes to, it's going to sound scary or creepy, he likes to stand over you while you're sleeping and watch you sleep. So he says he likes to do that. If you ever wake up and you feel like someone's breathing next to you or something, that's him. He says he doesn't mean to scare you. He just is stopping in. He says he don't want to mess with you, but he just wants to see you again. So he's just acknowledging that. He also, thank you. He also keeps acknowledging, did he have a habit of biting on your lip or liking to chew on your lip? Because he's like biting on your lip. So that's just acknowledging that. Sometimes you would get mad at him because he bit too hard or he would like not realize it. He's just like acknowledging that. He's fine. He says to tell his family that he's okay. He's talking about a brother. Does he have a brother?
He has a Well, one of his brothers actually passed right after him, and then
Okay. And he has another brother?
oh yeah, little brother. Yeah.
Okay. He wants to say to the, thank you. I'm asking if the other brother's with him. He says yes, but then he says, tell him that we're together, we're together, we're together. Even though they may not have 100% gotten along, which is funny. So I don't know if the brother that passed and he wouldn't always get along, but he says to tell the brother that's still alive that they're together. He also says thank you for taking, I don't know if that brother stepped in to be there more for the mom or trying to help the mom a lot more, but he's acknowledging and saying to thank him, to thank him, to thank him. So he's acknowledging that as well. He also says he still owes you money. Did you lend him $50? He never paid you back?
I think he said he was gonna pay me back for like gas money to get to his house one day, and he just never did. Like we just never talked again.
Okay, he says he still owes you the money that you loaned him, so he's just letting you know he's gonna try to find a way to pay you back that money. Okay. All right, sweetheart. You take care of yourself, Mama.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, going to the next person. Let's go to Rachel. Let's try Rachel. Hello, Rachel. Or Rochelle.
Hi.
Hi, sweetheart. Can you see me?
No, hold on a second.
All right.
Sorry, I gotta get better Wi-Fi.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay, sorry.
That's fine. You're fine. You're fine. Hi, Mama. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What did you want to ask me about?
I wanted to see if there was any messages from my dad.
So first of all, he keeps making me feel like he was ready to go. Had he already been dealing with other chronic issues or other issues before his passing?
Yes.
Okay. He also keeps acknowledging that his heart couldn't take it anymore. His heart couldn't take it anymore. Do you know if his heart was also giving him issues before he passed?
He was having a lot of medical issues. Yeah.
Got it. Because he's acknowledging that his heart was also going to kink out on him. The thing about it is, thank you, he keeps making me feel like he just wants to go to sleep. He just wants to go to sleep. Was he found after his passing?
He did it in front of everybody, or he did it in front of my mom.
Okay. He's almost just acknowledging like he just wanted to go to sleep or he wanted to close his eyes. And that's the way he's making me feel. So he's acknowledging that. I'm asking him about that because that wouldn't be the way that it would come up for me. Is he junior? Your dad, was he junior?
No.
Okay. Let's back it up for a second because I want to make sure that this is dad, because normally whenever someone does something or causes their own passing, they usually will own up to it, or they'll immediately like say this was my fault, or they'll point to themselves. He didn't do that first. He started to talk about he was ready to go, and he was almost making it seem like he... Do you know, was he on anything? Was he drunk or was he not?
No, so he had been sick that prior, probably 2 or 3 weeks. This is right before COVID was popular. And he was sick and nobody would believe what was wrong with him. And they kept saying he was fine. But then one ER said he had a upper respiratory infection. And they gave him medication that we think interfered with his antidepressants.
Oh, okay, perfect. Here's the reason why. He is not it doesn't feel like someone who's out to just kill themselves. It feels like something went wrong in his brain.
He wasn't right.
He's blaming that. He's not blaming himself. You know, you hear about these stories when someone someone starts taking antidepressants that actually leads to them committing suicide, or he's blaming whatever he was ingesting or taking as the reason why this happened. Because he says it made him weird, and it almost changed his perception of things. He also kept thinking, was he also talking funny or slurred a little bit? Because he keeps also I can't spell something out properly. I'm forgetting words.
He wasn't he wouldn't talk a lot, because when he talked, it sounded funny, like he wasn't making sense.
Got it. Because he's acknowledging like his speech sounded funny, or the way he was talking was funny for him. He's also, I'm asking him, thank you. He's pointing to my stomach as well. Do you know there was also a direct link or direct issue in his stomach area?
I don't think he had a stomach issue.
He keeps talking about like his stomach kept cramping up and it felt like his stomach was knotting up like this.
See, he wouldn't eat. And so that night he did eat something and he said he felt better, but.
Okay, because he's doing this with his stomach, like his stomach kept knotting up like it was just like twisting on him. So he almost felt that way as well. I'm asking him if he can tell me how he passed. And he's like, he doesn't want to talk about that. I'm like, okay, but we need to talk about it. And he's just acknowledging that that wasn't his best day. And I'm like, okay. And he's almost acknowledging that that's not the way he wants his family to remember him. And I'm like, well, how do you want them to remember you? He says, the way I was. I'm like, okay. He shot himself?
Yeah.
I'm asking him to tell me about it. He doesn't want to tell me about that part. And I'm like, I know you shot yourself. It's all there. And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, okay. He does not want to talk about the moment that he took his own life. And he's like, I don't want to talk about that. He says, I want to talk about what happened before that. That's the part that I want to talk about. I'm like, okay. So whatever he was taking, he's really wanting to put it all on that because he feels like that's what triggered this to take place. He also says that this wasn't premeditated. And for people to think that he thought that that was, he says that was wrong. He says it's almost like when you get possessed by like a feeling and you don't even know where it's coming from. And that's the way he's talking about it. He also wants to apologize to your mom. Did he say something really nasty right before this happened?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't witness it, but I do believe he said something.
He's taking it back and he says, I'm sorry. So he's wanting to take that back. He also said, thank you. Was this within 2 or 3 days of a significant date? Because he's also talking about the timing was bad.
It was on Valentine's Day.
Got it. He's acknowledging the timing was bad. So he's making reference to this. He also says, I don't want anyone to hate me. I don't want them to hate me. He says, I love my family. I love my family. I'm okay. Like, he just said Billy Bob. He just showed me Billy Bob Thornton. Is there a connection to the name Billy or Bob or Thornton?
My husband is Billy Joe.
Got it. He's probably trying to say hi to your husband or acknowledge your husband. So there's a reference there. Is Papa, your husband's grandfather, there as in spirit as well?
My husband's dad is there.
Is he Papa?
No, my dad is Papa.
Oh, your dad is Papa. Okay, so your dad is Papa. He's trying to acknowledge the father figure for your husband also being there as well to let him know about that. Did he have cirrhosis of the liver, the grandpa? I mean, your husband's father?
I do believe he had something wrong with his liver, but I think he passed from a heart attack.
Okay, because he's acknowledging that there were some issues with the liver and it led to blood clots, which just went and triggered the heart attack. So he may be trying to acknowledge that.
He passed when my husband was like 11.
Got it. I'm smelling smoke. Do you know if he was also a smoker?
Yes.
Perfect. He's also there as well. So he's just trying to say hello. He also says he's seen his boys. He said boys with an S. Is there another boy?
My son, my husband has one son and then my son. So he's stepfather.
Got it. Okay. But okay, yeah, that's it. Are you sure? Does he also have 2 sisters? Your husband?
My husband has 5 sisters.
Okay, got it. He's just acknowledging the multiple sisters. Is there something different between 2 of the sisters and the other 3? Like they have different parents or they're different? They
joke about it.
Okay, he's just making a joke about it. So he's just acknowledging the siblings. He is okay. He also keeps acknowledging that, thank you. Does your husband know how to sharpshoot or is he a sharpshooter?
My husband, that's his hobby is he hunts and yeah, he likes to shoot.
He sees what he's done. He's like, I'm proud of him. So he's almost acknowledging being proud of him and says that he sees him and he watches him. He also says he's the man that the kids have seen. So they describe seeing a man or a shadow. That's him coming around just to say hi, just to visit. So he's been coming around, y'all. He's with your father. So your father's there. Your father is okay. He also, thank you. Is there a Denise or a Denny name?
What did you say, Denise or what?
It's like a Denise or a Denny or a Denise or Danny. On your dad's side of the family?
Not that I can think of.
That's okay. I'll leave that with you. He's referencing a Denise or a Denny or Danny, and it feels like someone that's there. So someone else that may be connected to that side of the family who's also in spirit, who passed in an accident. They may have even been in like an ATV, or there was something about something flipping over. because he's acknowledging that this person's vehicle, either the vehicle flipped over or they were on a bike and it flipped over. But they're referencing that this person passed suddenly or unexpectedly. That's also there. That's connected to this D name.
We had a nephew who passed in a car accident when he was like 15, but he was Craig.
Is there a D connected to him?
No.
No. And the vehicle didn't flip over, right?
Mm-hmm. It did.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Was this also around a birthday?
It was February. It was in February.
Okay.
Yes, it was right after one of our nephews was born.
Okay. I'm asking him to let me know about the D name. He's sticking with this Denzi, there's like a D sounding name that he's making reference to. So I don't know how that connects unless he was in a vehicle with a D name or his best friend was the D, but there's something about it that he's making reference to. He's okay. He's fine. And he's just acknowledging that he's good. So they're okay, sweetheart.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, darling. You take care of yourself.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Let's see. Going over here. Hello.
Hi, Ferny.
Hi, sweetheart. How you doing?
I'm so happy you chose me. I was like, you're not going to choose me.
I'm here, baby. I'm here. What do you want to ask me about?
Oh, God. I want to hear from my mama. She passed in December.
Don't tell me too much. Don't tell me too much. Don't tell me too much. Hold on. First of all, she keeps laughing. Was mom a big woman as well, or she was a bigger top? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Do you have her bras or her Victoria's Secret bras? Because she showed me Victoria's Secret bras.
I don't think
there's
I have
something
any
about
of her
a
bras.
special bra or a devil bra, or there's something. She showed me Victoria's Secret, so I don't know what this is that she's referring to.
Is it red? It's like a red, like wife beater style weight on it.
Could be, because if this is a special bra and it's the devil's bra, which would be a red. That would be, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So she showed me that. Do you know what she's talking about?
Not really. Besides that wife beater style workout thing I sleep in, that was hers.
Okay, that's okay. If that's the thing that you wear, that's that's okay. That might be what she's referring to, because it almost feels like it's something that would also be supportive as well. So that may be where she's going with that, but I'll leave that with you. She also keeps talking about the number 6. Do you know if the 6th of a month or June is connected?
No.
She's laughing. She's sticking with it. So it's a 6. So it's either the month of June or the 6th of a month might be significant, because she's making reference to that. She also keeps acknowledging, thank you. She's putting her hand over her mouth, which usually means I didn't get a chance to say goodbye or I wasn't able to speak. Were you not able to talk to her before passing?
No.
Got it. She also keeps showing me herself collapsing. Did she fall or did she collapse and they had to call an ambulance out for her?
An ambulance was called.
Okay. Did they not make it in time, or did they mistreat her? Because she's almost, what she's showing me is another client of mine whose daughter was treated in the wrong way for her condition, and it actually triggered her own passing. Do you know if they made a mistake in the way that they treated her, or they didn't do enough when they were trying to get her ready to go to the hospital?
I can't say that. No, I don't. Not that I know of.
That's okay. I'll leave that with you, because she's almost acknowledging that the person, whoever was trying to prep her or trying to get her to a hospital, they didn't know what they were doing, or they didn't understand what was happening with her, because she's almost acknowledging that. She also keeps making reference, thank you. She's pointing to my heart as well. Do you know if her heart was also having difficulty or it was giving out?
It was probably like a secondary thing that was.
Okay, because she's showing me my heart and I'm taking medications. Was she on 5 different medications?
She was on plenty medication.
Okay. She's acknowledging like the multiple medications, and then her heart almost being, it's almost like thank you. It's almost like I have angina or something, and I don't even realize that I got a heart issue, and I start to get a little bit faint. And then on top of that, there's another issue that starts to happen where my blood pressure starts to drop suddenly as well, because she's showing me this whole series of events going on there. She also keeps acknowledging, do you know she had been talking about that day that she kept feeling these little like twitches in her feet, like little prickly sensations in her legs?
What day? Like
the day of her passing. If that day she had talked about prickly things or feeling like something was like
She couldn't talk. I wouldn't know.
Okay, she's just doing this, like she kept feeling like prickly sensations in her legs, almost as if something's poking or making it odd, because she's making reference to it.
Mm-hmm.
She's going back to the. Was she in a special facility, or was she in like a special like suite?
I see you.
Okay, but that was that before the ambulance was called.
She was in her room, and my cousin. The ambulance was called because my cousin went to her house, and no one had a key to get in except for me. I live far in.
Okay, here's the way she's kind of describing it to me. The day that she passed, she kept feeling weird, and she was actually feeling these prickly sensations on her legs. She also kept feeling like she wanted to faint. And so she's acknowledging this, and then she's showing me herself dropping, and then she's acknowledging. Was she already deceased when the ambulance arrived?
No, listen, she was disoriented and weak.
Okay.
And that's why she couldn't even get up from the bed to the door to open it. So
Okay.
they in. So that's maybe she may have fallen and we wouldn't know.
She keeps going back to the way I feel is like the way that they dealt with her when they got to her house.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they got her to the hospital, something was missed or something wasn't done the way it was supposed to be done, which may have made her condition or her situation worse. Because that's the way she's making me feel, because she keeps going back to this memory of me talking to this other client. So that's one thing. The second thing she's acknowledging, thank you, is there was something going on with her heart where whatever she was taking was kind of creating like a perfect storm of craziness in her body. And it was triggering all these things to take place, and her blood pressure was dropping because she's acknowledging that they couldn't stabilize, or there was something with her blood pressure not being able to be sustainable. She also keeps, thank you. She's going back to that 6. She's bringing up that 6. So the 6th of a month or June is connected somehow. Either it's connected to her or it's connected to you, because she's showing me that 6 being significant. So there's a reference to that. So either there's something in the month of June or there's something in the 6th of a month that is connected. So that's the other reference as well. She also keeps, thank you. Thank you. Did y'all receive donations for her?
Not monetary. Well, some people gave me cards with money in it. I don't know.
She's just wanting to thank the people that donated, so she's just acknowledging that. She also keeps acknowledging. Do you know there's a picture of her where there's a flower or like a flower brooch on her chest?
Very well, maybe she was that.
Because she's showing me this, and it looks like a bit exuberant or kind of bigger than it should be. But she's showing me this like flower thing that might be on her like upper chest here. It almost reminds me of a brooch. So there's something like that she's making reference to. She also keeps it. Thank you. She showed me 2 babies. Do you know of 2 babies that were miscarried, lost, or terminated?
Yes.
Okay. She's just acknowledging that. She also keeps. Thank you. Were she and your father not together when she passed?
Right. They weren't together.
She's acknowledging forgiving him. So there's almost a reference of forgiving your father. So she's making reference to that. She says, I can't carry this on to the other side. So she's almost like letting go any issues that they may have struggled through. She also talks, thank you. She also talks about, do you have her picture in your vehicle?
No.
There's a picture or an image of her, because she's showing me a picture or image of either that or there's a picture of her in your vehicle, but there's a reference to her to a vehicle in a picture, but she's showing me that. Now the reason why I'm asking it that way is because when I have a prayer card of my aunt's, even though it's not a picture of her, but it's like a prayer card, and I kept it in my vehicle for a long time. She's showing me something that reminds me of that, but it almost feels like a picture. So there's something there that she's making reference to inside of a vehicle. So there's a reference of a picture inside the vehicle. So she's acknowledging that.
Okay.
She don't blame you. She doesn't blame you. So if you ever thought that maybe if you were there or maybe had you been present, then it would have been done differently, she's like, I don't blame you. So she's almost like letting you know that don't blame yourself, because she don't blame you. So she's almost acknowledging that. I'm hearing her music. Do you have her music?
I do.
She knows about you having her music, so she's acknowledging that. Do you sometimes play her music and just like cry to yourself without anybody? Because she says, I'm with you whenever you do this. She says, I'm with you whenever you do this. So she's acknowledging that as well. She also, thank you. She also talks about a picture of her, another picture of her. And it feels like she's going back to this. And I feel like her hair is kind of dolled up and kind of coming up to here. And it's almost like this floral, maroon, purpley color thing that she's wearing on. So she's showing me, it might even have flowers across it, but she's showing me something like that. Okay. This is how she wants. Say what?
It's like a dress, but it was maroon and it had a floral design in it.
Got it. She's acknowledging. This is how she presents herself to me. So she's showing herself this way. So she's just acknowledging that. Thank you. Did you kiss her on her forehead?
I mean, I would when I would go home. That was usually where I would kiss her.
Okay, so she's got you kissing her on the forehead. So that's how you used to kiss her. She's acknowledging you kissing her on the forehead. She's kissing you on the forehead now. And she says, it's your turn. It's your time. It's your turn. It's your turn. So she's just acknowledging that. She's getting on you. She says you need to get better with your money. So she's getting on you. She says stop spending so much or just try to save a little bit. Because she says, thank you. Are you thinking about moving or relocating?
It's crossed my mind. Yeah. Okay.
She's like giving you a thumbs up, and she says, save your money, save your money. So she's just giving you a heads up about that as well. She's pulling back. Yeah. She's fine. She's with you, sweetheart. Go back over those details that I said because you weren't catching all of those. You got to go back over it because there's some things there that she was being very specific about, okay?
It was hard to explain it to you without telling you too much because she had COVID. And so the whole time she was in the hospital, I couldn't see her.
Oh, that's why. Okay, got it. It's possible. Got it. It's possible that whatever they couldn't treat her fully, or there was just too many that they couldn't do everything they could do for her, and that's why she kept talking about that they couldn't do it. That's probably what she's talking about. But she's with you, sweetheart. She's okay.
Thank you. My birthday tomorrow. I just wanted to hear from her.
With you. No, she's with you, girl. She's with you.
Thanks a lot.
Butterflies are connected to her, so keep your eye out for the butterflies.
Nice. Okay, will do. Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, y'all. I love you all. I'm out of time. It's already past the hour. So I love you all. I will be back on Friday, same time, same place, and we will do this again, okay? Talk to you later. I'm about to get back on, so don't think that I'm getting on to read.